All right, first thing I'm doing is I'm squishing through here. I can see where um, there's a slight line there. That's because this is almost cracking, but I'm also applying pressure. So I'm going to start reinforcing the rest of her neck since basically over half of her neck has broken off. I'm going to reinforce a little bit through these areas that's already left before I insert the ball back in. Now I'm going to do thin layers, so it's going to be very thin layers to start that. And it's crazy because looking at this doll's body, this Barbie looks brand new. You can tell that whenever they got her, the Barbie was never really played with. She is an absolute brand new looking condition, the body from 1981, made in Philippines. Um, and I think from the way it looks, so new like, even the hair. It's like they just took it all at the box or broke her head while we're taking it at the box, or her head just neck broke off. Now, this is all stretched out. This is an easy fix. So if you get a Barbie doll and the head is squished all the way down like this, that's an easy fix. You just take the head off, do some hot boiled water, and you simply hold Barbie by the hair, dip all of this into hot boiling water and let the hot water get inside. This will shrink back to what it used to be. Okay, so let me get started. With acetone, we have Supersize Superstar Barbie as well. This one belongs to my moderator. Right now she's on vacation with family. Um, And so a lot of these Barbies, the necks are like a melting look. So I'm going to reinforce this. We're going to file this a little bit, roughen it up so that the acrylic can bond to it, like this one. Okay, this one's mine. I did it years ago. And I'm going to file and retouch it up and reinforce a little bit. And this is my Supersize Superstar Barbie head. And this is a full reroot. So I rerooted her hair a long time ago, actually. Okay, so let me set those aside. These are the brushes I'm going to be using acrylic on because really once you use acrylic, it's destroyed forever and ever. It's the end of it, basically. Okay, I'm using my new lighting. Let me turn my camera around. There we go. So you see these little wands? I have added extra lighting. So it's like a beam. Okay, let me turn that like that. Okay, so you can see where this is connected and I can move it around like that. It's got what they call a gooseneck. Architects use this, so it's very easy to maneuver. I really like this to give me more lighting and better lighting as I proceed into what I do as a content creator. I'm trying to get that back normal. Okay, there we go. So I have more control with my lighting and I have extra light plus the ring light. The ring light's not on right now. This is 100 grit. All right, so yep. Don't be scared. Some people are scared. I was scared. The first year I was doing stuff like this, even with repainting, I was a little nervous. I was a little scared. I had to go through different paints and things like that to get ones that didn't bleed or ruin my American Girl doll's head, especially Pleasant Company. Everyone says well, not everyone, but a lot of collectors like Pleasant Company. They think the quality is better. I don't like it because to me the heads are squishy. And with repainting, the paint bleeds into the vinyl. I think Mattel definitely increased the quality of that, the vinyl head, arms, and legs. So just like you would your real nails, roughen that up around the neck to prep it. You can't get inside, so don't worry about it, but I'm going to do a thin layer inside. And once I do that, I'm going to pop this back into her head. This was the original. It's crazy because you can tell they had used leftover plastics to make these little neck bobbins because these things come in all different colors. All of the old Barbies, they got flesh colors. They come in black, blue, purple, pink. These things come in all colors. It's I don't know. It is what it is. How about that? All right. So with my moderator, Super Size Superstar Barbie, it has that very sort of like a melted look. And I'm going to fix that so her head can fit tighter. Now, this is a whole different type of plastic. It's I don't know what it is, but it's older. This one was made, okay, USA. Were these really, I need someone to confirm, were these really made in the USA? And she bought this new in the box off of eBay. Okay, so I'm going to now go ahead and get started. Now this, it feels like a softer kind of plastic because it just literally just kind of, the gripper slides on it. The legs are just hollow plastic. This is a different type of plastic compared to the torso. So it's very interesting. So this will smoothen it out and also give us a gritty texture so that I can apply acrylic to not just harden it, but to make it where the head will fit tighter and not be as wobbly. For those of you commenting, I apologize. I can't respond because I can't read the comments while I'm doing this type of content. Sorry, losing my voice. Okay, so we got it roughed up. We got it more smoothened out. So with her, I'm only going to apply a thin layer because this one, the regular size Barbie, that's a lot more intricate work, right? I can't go ahead and apply a thin layer inside of her neck, very thin layer. So this will help reinforce the remainder of what's left of her neck. Hi everyone, welcome in. Hit the bell, hit the like, subscribe. Okay, there we go. Double checking inside the neck. It's a nice thin layer, evenly rounded. Oh yeah, good. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of acetone and rub it around all through here, including the front. Now I can let this set and dry. And then once that dries, I will apply the neck bob back into her neck. Okay, so I'm going to now apply a thin layer on this doll's neck. Good thing I got that other thing of acrylic. Alright, so I'm applying a thin layer. This method can work on any doll, basically, that's made of plastic. Okay, I wanted to finish using as much of this as I could, so this is the end of that. I'm looking somewhere through it. Okay. Well, it was supposed to go into that box, but I missed. Alright, so this brush is basically dead, so I can't use it. It's too frizz. Alright, so now moving on, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so as you can see, that dries pretty quickly, the acrylic. On this Barbie neck, you can see it's a lighter color. So that is the acetone and the acrylic. Looking on the inside, yeah, that looks good. Perfect. There we go. I'm applying a nice thin layer inside to reinforce all of that, and I can also see where she has a crack. So there you can see that there's a little crack right there. There we go. We are applying acrylic on the regular size Barbie body. I have other videos where I'm showing how to do this, but it's always good to keep those videos updated. Apply newer versions. I'm trying to let the focal point be her neck. So there. So now you can see where I applied the acrylic. and we are doing the repairs on this. Now you can tell when acrylic is bonding because it's white. This acrylic is white, dries clear. You will need a few different nail files to do this. For example, this here one is less strong, so it helps smooth it out. This one has a big, this is a good grit. This side is super grit, and this side is a smoother side. And then this side makes it ultra smooth. You can get these at beauty supplies or I think even Walmart. Okay, so that looks really good. So when I see how white looking that looks, it shows me that the acrylic is taking very well. Okay, I think that's going to be a little too much acrylic because I'm not trying to make it very thick on the inside of her neck so she doesn't lose that posability, but I do want to have it reinforced so that it will be more stable. Okay, so now I'm done with that. I'm gonna let this set and dry and harden. Okay, now I'm going back to the bigger size Barbie. Super size, superstar. Okay. There we go. I'm applying the acrylic quickly and smoothly. You want to work with it while it's fresh and wet because this hardens very quickly. For those of you who wear acrylic nails or acrylic overlay, you know how fast this dries. Oh, that's where her outfit was taped on. When Paris, when she sent me her doll, I asked her to remove the clothing because it's just unnecessary. I don't need the doll's clothes on for making these repairs and to reinforce the neck. Mm. All right, put some acetone on here to have the acrylic spread and it will melt. The acrylic will melt easier like this when it's been diluted. Now, these brushes are made for painting, not acrylic projects. So I don't have a proper brush for doing this. So yeah, it will destroy these brushes, but it's okay because I have my extra so that I mainly use for painting. So the goal is to not only repair the neck, but to make the neck a little bit thicker so the doll's head will fit. So see this Barbie? See that? It's turned white. That's the acrylic. That's the chemical reaction that it's having with the plastic, which is it's good. That's a good thing. That's why you set it aside and let it dry. So yes. Hi everyone. Welcome in. All right, now I can let this set and dry. Um, okay. Now I'm putting the neck bobbin in. Okay, that looks good. That's where it goes. I'm looking to see how thick the plastic is. Wow, her neck really took a tumble. But I can also see how thin it is. Okay. So now we have to build on to this. Oh, this is just going to be freaking lovely. Now, if you're doing this, don't worry if it's looking thick. That's how it should be. And you want to gently push inward through there to give it that shape like the original. Now, usually when a Barbie doll's neck is that severely damaged, it will not be able to move, like where it won't be able to swivel up and down and stuff like that, because just over half of her neck, 60% of her neck is broken. So you really want to have it in a nice position. And the reason why I think it's important, even though it's so broken and damaged, to fix it is because the body is in excellent condition, especially the torso. I mean, this is literally new like condition. The coloring is amazing and everything, so I would rather invest the time into repairing and saving the doll's body as much as possible. They don't make them like this anymore. What I mean by that is you don't get the details that you used to get. Today's Superstar Barbie hands, they're not as detailed as the originals. Okay, it looks like it is going to be able to function. And the good thing is the acrylic, it's going to harden. And it's going to be harder than the plastic. Okay. I'm pressing inward with my fingers because it doesn't just have one particular shape, as you can see the neck. You see. um, yep, I'm using a different brush already. This is how come I'm always needing to get new brushes. Well, aside from acrylic paint, they can only go so far. So if you go to the flea market or eBay and you get Barbie dolls with broken necks, you can have fun and experiment. I mean, I'm going to have to file a lot of this down once it becomes completely hardened. But as you can see, we've got the base down. So as you can see, that looks good and works, but I had to file a lot of this down over here because it's sticks out too far, which that's good. It's fine because I want it to be um, a nice amount of acrylic to reinforce this whole part of the neck that's going to be new. And I can file it down to fit. Okay. And I also want to reinforce the rest of her original neck because I don't want it to break or anything like that. So that's also very important. You want a little bit of acrylic all the way around as you reinforce it. So the good thing is that once this dries, it will be functionable because I think I might end up giving her a reroot. I'm sure I'm going to reroot her. Not right now, because I have others to remove first. Okay, I'm using my needle to shape this up and give it a more curved. Up in here, make it a little more curved. There we go, nice and smooth and curved. All right, there we go. So I will now let this set. I'm probably gonna leave this alone overnight and move forward with, let me set that over there. Now I'm going back to this Barbie. So you see the acrylic has turned white all the way around. And with working with this type of material, it takes longer for it to set completely than like nails. See, it's got a rough texture already, which is good. So that way her Barbie's head is going to fit nice and tight. So once I start filing this, it'll look more clear. Oh, wow. So there's also a little crack in the doll's shoulder. So when you're doing things like this, you want to go ahead, look at these kind of issues. I'm just putting a little bit of acrylic all the way through there. This side looks good. I mean, not acrylic, but acetone. And now I'm applying the acrylic. And I made sure I applied quite a bit of acetone into this so it can just melt into those cracked areas. Okay. Now her arm is fine. Doesn't affect that. Okay. Making sure. Okay. Now, I set that aside and let it dry. I am going to touch this up. I'm going to see if I can file, if it's ready to be filed. So, you see my brushes, I destroyed them. But these were okay. They were already getting old. So, that's why I didn't have a problem using those. And I don't use them as often. I use them for bigger projects. So that means I can apply more acrylic. And this is why it's good when you're doing this. Let it sit for about 24 hours to dry. This is not the same type of plastic that they use on nails. And too, with nails, it's very thin. It's made to be applied thick. And it's a completely different plastic. Okay. So while we're in the process, remember you want to use brushes that either come with this or brushes that are disposable because they're going to get destroyed. Oh, hi, Nidra. I'm using Kiss. You can buy this just about anywhere. Kiss nail products. You want to get the one that's clear, though, that dries clear. So, like Walmart, you can get it there. Or if you want something more, you can always go to your beauty supply store, but this one's usually the best one because I don't really have to do this that often, so just a really inexpensive acrylic nail kit works wonderfully. And when it builds up, you can take a needle and pull out that extra like that from around the neck. And you want to get it away from the neck while it's still soft and pliable. Because on the doll, it's good to wait 24 hours. Again, it's good to wait at least 12, maybe 12 hours to let this fully harden. It takes longer on a doll. So there. And it will dry your hands out. So be prepared and enjoy that. All right. So now I'm going to let this set aside until I get back to it, which will not be today. But that is how you repair your doll's broken neck. Now coming back to this one. This one, see, it's turning very frosty white. This part of her neck was fine, but I had to reinforce it. Over here, as you can see, it's still a bit clear-like, but once it turns all white, it'll be pretty set. This is dry right there, but because I had to repair from here all the way around to there, I had to repair basically 60% of her neck. I had to replace it and repair over half of her neck. So this is going to need to set at least until 20, I want to say 24 hours. The good thing is it's setting and I get her neck bob, the way I set everything up and did it, it's still going to be posable. So that is the positive on that. I will still be able to pose it. All right, so it's setting, but it's not, it's good enough for me to be able to actually, I can't file it right now. I have to let it be until it hardens completely. So at least I got that repaired. And I've had to do this on newer Barbie dolls. For example, this one. Yeah. So this is a newer Barbie. Yes, the newer Barbies are already breaking and chipping and all of that crazy stuff. Oh, I gotta replace her batteries already. So I had to, her whole front part of her neck, this has been painted. You can see the paint on the neck knob. And I had to replace and put acrylic in the front. So yeah, the new Barbies, they're already, they don't last. None of this is lasting. Um, they need to use, they really need to use a better quality PVC plastic mix to make this where it doesn't break as easy. So this is what I use, as you can see. Oops. As you can see, this is pretty much already gone, which that's why I didn't buy any new. I want to go ahead and use this up. So, yep. And I had to reinforce the entire neck. And this is a new Barbie. This one is a newer Barbie doll. But that's why old Barbies came with a warranty. These new Barbies, they do not come with any kind of warranty because they're made cheap. But if you get a new Barbie doll, and if your Barbie breaks within 3 months, you can return her back to the store for replacement. You can return her back and exchange her. Or as long as the doll, the actual doll that you purchase of the newer ones, as long as it's on the shelf, you can return it with or without a receipt for even exchange. Alright, so this is my supersize superstar Barbie. I made her dress. I made, like, I don't know, I was going with the 70s peasant girl vibe or something. But this is one that I already reinforced. You can see it, but once the head is on the neck, you don't see it. But I need to make it a little bit thicker. And this one's from mine that got the reroot. And this brush is already dyed. So I've done went through 3 brushes now. So they're destroyed. And with YouTube, I was talking to a lady at my bank. And I was telling her, she's like, you make money from YouTube? The thing is, you can be monetized, but you're not going to make no more than like what? You can make $5 or $6 a month. That's it. And YouTube doesn't give you anything until you get to 100. And the way that works is you're only making pennies per 1,000 views. And they take 30% of it. So you still have to build up to be more than that. So for me, this is just more of a hobby. So on my 18-inch Barbie, like I'm doing Paris's, mine I want to reinforce this. Also, I'm using this up, so if I need to get newer product, I can do that tomorrow when I go out to get. What am I getting? I forgot what I was getting already. Oh, grocery items. Oh, wow, yeah, I can see it with the little acrylic down here on her neck as well. Now I can see it. Okay, while I'm throwing stuff around, it's because it's a lot of acrylic already built up on this paper towel. Wait. Okay, there we go. Get that. Isn't it amazing how the acetone turns that acrylic so clear? Okay, getting the brush prepared for this task. And I just want to do a thin layer all the way around. I need to add on to it because and the acrylic stayed in the bottle. Oh, okay. So if it's sticky, if it gets gooey, sticky like, that's because you have to replace it. Okay. All right, nice thin layer. Again, remember it takes longer for this to harden on a doll's body than it does people's nails. I started off loving dolls. Ever since I was little, I've always loved dolls. I loved playing with them. They were the best pastime for me ever. But I was always given, and when I say little, I'm talking about like kindergarten. And I was always given my cousins old Barbies. I was always given hand me down Barbies. And so they were always broken neck, pretty much. That was what I got. Um, I had a very strict father. He did not even allow me and my brother to eat candy as children. My mom's sister gave her that first piece of candy. My dad was all about appearances. He didn't want us to have rotten teeth. It was all about how we looked. And so he felt that if we had if I had maybe two or three dolls at the 3 dolls at the most, that was enough. I didn't need any more. And I'm like, oh my god, $3? That's just a sample. So that's probably why I have so many today. That's what I love about being an adult. I can have all the dolls I want. Dolls are, they're costly, but at the same time, they're inexpensive at the same time. All right, so I got her neck reinforced. This one's mine. I wanted to do a little bit thicker, so we got that done. And I had to let her set for 24 hours. So there will be a part 2 of this video. Going back to Paris's doll, you can see how nice and white all of that is. And probably while I'm at it, I'm going to be buying, well, I have to get more acrylic. This is gone. I done sucked it all up. So all of this can go in the trash. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can get another brand instead of the Kiss brand. See if they have something else I can get. Let me think. I'm trying to think if there's a beauty supply store near where I'm going to be. There is one, but I don't get a discount with them. So I don't know. I'll see. So I do want to go over this with another thin layer. Also with Paris's Barbie. This looks good. I like how that looks. Okay, I know it looks ugly, and then you hear me saying I like how it looks. But um, what I mean is I can tell it's going to look good. It's bonded, it's sticking, so that's what matters. This is just powder residue. Now this Barbie, she has mine for my Barbie like this. I glued because you can see it's a band. That band will give away. It will break. So I used glue and I glued my Barbies like this. I glued them. Um. So yeah. Let me think. I really started getting new Barbies after my parents' divorce. Yeah, I want to say it was during their separation period within that year. And it was very, very difficult for me as a child, um, witnessing a lot of stuff that went on between my parents before their separation and the arguments during the separation. So, when my mom took me and my brother, we went up to the city and I went into that shop. I saw Tropical Miko and I bought her. My brother bought her too. We both got Tropical Miko. And so in the shop, Tropical Miko was the first one I got. I loved her super long black hair. And she was the first one I got that was brand new. Oh my God. And I had developed really bad anxiety issues. And so in school, I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate. It was very difficult for me. And so I remember putting her in my book sack, my backpack, and I put her in the far side. And I remember when I felt overwhelmed. When you have anxiety and you're in school, you are, it's like you can't hear it. It's like the teacher's going, wah, wah, wah. Nothing sinks in. You can't pay attention. You can't focus. Um, and it seems like your heart is racing so bad and you feel like you're suffocating. And I didn't understand what that was like because now kids at younger ages are more educated and learn more about I mean, not disability, but um, anxiety. And so I was seeing a therapist when I was little because of my parents' divorce. There's one. Integrity Toys. What do I think of Integrity Toys? Um, I don't really think about them. I do have their dolls. I have Jim and the Holograms from Integrity Toys, several. In fact, I have one right here in the box. I bought the two set with the two Roxy dolls. So I did put this one on eBay, but she didn't sell, which is fine because I'm probably going to customize her. So yeah, I have integrity, but I don't really like. I love them, but I don't love them at the same time because they're plastic. This stuff can break. It'll break easily. The hands are turning yellow. For example, I have extra hands here that are still in the packs, never opened. These belong to Rio, and they look like monster hands. They're yellow. They turned from a tan color to an orangey yellow. So they're hideously ugly. Integrity Toys is expensive and made cheap. So yeah. So far these belong to Jim. These belong to I think I don't remember, I don't know. I if their hands look bad, I just switched them out. But yeah, I had this girl on eBay and she didn't sell. And I had her like 135, which I thought was pretty reasonable. It was cheaper than what everyone else was selling her for. So yeah, I did buy the Gem and the holograms. Love those. But I don't really stay with integrity. I stay with Barbie. She's more affordable. If she breaks, she's easy to repair. No poopsie. Um, so yeah. But anyway, even now as an adult, I still deal with anxiety issues. And my cat. I just found Beauty Secret Barbies. Beauty Secrets. Beauty Secrets. Beauty. Como dice? How do you say that? Beauty Secret Barbie. This one's got her hair is silky and everything. And I had lost her hand, and I just found her hand. It's up here on my table. So there's her hand. I wish Barbie still had these hands. They were so eloquently and elegantly done. I miss the beautiful, elegant hands that Barbie used to have. I don't like the new hands. So yeah, these are the same color. So these break off, so now I can repair it. So since we're doing repairs in this video, at this moment, let me set our hand over there. I'm going to use super glue. I'm using the gel. For Barbie or any doll repairs, I recommend the gel because it's not going to be runny and it's going to be less messy. But you have to shake it up. Oh wow, Integrity Toys. Yeah, see, it's overpriced. And the thing is, they're doing everything they can to keep production costs down. It's really corporate greed. Sorry, my cat might need to jump down. Dixie, if this gets you in the way, I want you to jump down and get away. Because it's strong and this is not healthy and you're sensitive. Okay, there she goes. Oh my god, can I get her hand in there? Yes, there it is. Okay, so this is going to be in a permanent pose. I think that's a pretty pose. We'll tilt it a little bit. There we go. I might as well use this brush because it's already destroyed to really, oh yeah, it's already dry. So I'm going to push the glue into the crevices, into the where it's jointed. Okay, that piece of plastic went off. That's fine, doesn't matter because I'm doing this with glue. So there we go. I'm going to fill in all those little joints. So for those of you, I know a lot of collectors who have a Beauty Secrets Barbie, and the problem with these dolls is this, the hands breaking. But yeah, that's my big concern when it comes to my Gemini holograms dolls. I want them to last. I want them to look good. And see, this Barbie, she still functions. Of course, I mean these things last pretty good. I don't know. I mean, back in the day, they were made cheap, where the heads were like rubber, like little rubber things. So this one has a very good neck. The plastic was thicker for the mechanism and the back. So yeah, I don't know. She's got a good face. She might. Mm, uh, I already have one that's reverted, and I don't play with her. But this one's good. She's got a big ass forehead, but she's cute. The pupils are completely dilated. I'm not gonna say anything else about that one. Okay, I love the bend and snap legs. I love the high arch, the way these feet are made. And Mattel did a good job Bill Greening. Oh, look at that foot. Where's the rest of it? Oh, God. That's what happens with some of these older dolls. I think this Barbie. So, older, well, I'm finding now some of these other Barbies that are in our stores. Okay, at least this hand is working. Oh, no. There it looks. See that? The plastic just chips away, which tells me that this hand is going to break as well. Well, it already did, kind of, basically. It did. See that little piece of plastic? So with these, it's really probably best to find a nice pose. Usually, like, point it to the side in a way like that. So that way it looks good no matter how the arm is bendable. Which, this was a really good idea. The way this is done. I like the arms like that. It's, I don't know. I feel like Mattel had much. I don't know. I just like the older stuff more. The newer stuff, it's okay, but it's not all that. The quality isn't there. The clothes suck. Fashion Fever was amazing. The problem was the dolls had those big pumpkin heads. So that was the problem then. Okay, so now I'm going to move her hand into a pose like that. So that looks elegant. Yeah, that works. So it'll be a permanent pose, which is fine. Okay. So now I'm going to maneuver the gel glue and fill in these little areas here. There. To make sure that's filled in. And it's permanent, so she's not going to lose her hands. Awesome. And what I like about this glue is it's definitely permanent. Okay, so there. We're working on repairing Barbie next, and now we just repaired her hands back on. So she's not handless. So now she's going to be fabulous. And her hands are set up in different poses as well. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Okay, let me see. I got a gem I'm going to reroute, but I want to use nylon hair. Okay, so going back to the Gemini holograms doll question. Here's Gem from Integrity Toys. I love her face. Look how tightly rooted that Saran hair is. Now the problem is the hair fades. It's horribly faded, and I love this one with the long hair and the long dress, but I am concerned because Robert Tonner, his dolls, would use this kind of plastic that they're made of, and his dolls would chip. So this around in here that end up chipping and breaking, and that's why people had to request new bodies. But yeah, oh wow, you can see the seam where it was glued. It's crazy. But the quality in the clothes is amazing. I really wish Barbie would go back to having that quality. The problem is they also need to improve the plastic that they use. Dixie, that is not for your nails, honey. That's for wiping feet. So yeah, they definitely gave them a lot of thick hair, but this pink is turning peach. I do have one I reviewed it, but I want it to be more pink instead of fuchsia. And I used nylon hair. Oh my god! So that's the thing about these hands. So if you have like Gemini hologram, even oh my god, the dye. So what's his name? Riot. Any of the clothes from Integrity Toys, the dye in those clothes will damage your dolls. So this is what happened to my doll's hand from where I had her packed with my other Integrity Toys Gemini holograms dolls. And Riot's pants in the what are the other two girls? Rapture and something Mystique or Think. All of the dyes in their clothing will bleed into your doll's vinyl. Not just the hands, but also the face. You can see there. What, honey? And then there's a dot there. And that's the sad part. They're made cheap and cost a lot of money. What? Okay. Oh, let me close the glue up. So if your cat's clingy or you have a pet like that, make sure you're in a well ventilated area using any of these products for yourself, but also for your pets. And yeah, you don't want kids around it. Okay, so that is drying up. Yep. Okay, so I think I'm done for today. It's been an hour. So yeah, I'm waiting for a doll to come out. I usually get those dolls by they got these dolls by MGA. The I forgot what they're called. The little short chubby ones with a lot of hair. Um, and the ones that my life dolls. That hair is good nylon and it's cheaper than buying hair online. So you can just buy the doll, cut all the hair off, and use it. These are my acrylic paints I have set aside to match the doll's skin tones. So these are the colors I usually go with right here. This one is coral. Then we have the coral cloud, which is like a skin tone, sable brown, and titanium white, which is called snow. I use Americana. I've been using these here now for some years, over 10 years. Um, I don't like Deco Art. These used to be two different brands, but one bought out the other. But it still has the quality because the Americana work the best. They last. They don't bleed into your doll's vinyl. So you're able to get that and it be protected. Mm. Okay, and I'm probably going to end up giving her a review. I like her face. She's going to look good, more of a platinum blonde. And this hair has a sticky feel. So if you look in here, the older Barbies, they were rooted like that. Lots of bald spots. But the ones they do now, the way it's done now, it's done by machine. So the newer Barbies don't have that issue at all. Either way, she's gonna look good. Reviewed it. She'll make a good new version of like the jeans Barbie. Okay, and this was her body. There it is. So it's still setting. All of that part, at least her neck will be functionable. So tomorrow I'll get some more acrylic and figure out what else I need. So we'll let these girls set up here on my table. Say hello. There's my kitty. Yes, she is that close. She's just all up in here by herself. All right, so there we are. So this is what we're working with. This one was the worst. Now I want to say 80% of her neck was all broke off. So now I can show you up close. You can see it there from the back, from the tan. All of this had to be replaced up to the front. That's original, but I had to reinforce it. So yeah, and the body looks new like. So there we are. I'm gonna probably work on rerouting this Barbie. This belongs to Mother Paris as well, so I need to finish rerouting her and move on to rerouting her my size Barbie, which that's the body to it, but I had to reinforce the neck to make it better. And then I don't know what else with hers. So now I'm holding my camera. This is my original. My original. Well, I haven't had her. I bought her off eBay, but she's the original Rocker Barbie. I did blush her cheeks. I need to brighten up her hair, and it was thick. I love the reproductions. Um, I do recommend going to flea markets, doll shows, where you can get older Barbies at a good price. So, anyway, that concludes today's video. I am going to go for now because my cat has decided she doesn't want to move. Let me see. There we have our reproduction. I have one out of the box. I straightened out the curls, and I'm keeping that one in the box for now. And of course, Peaches and Cream. I did take her out the box and kept her. This one I was going to make a mini me, but I'm not that pale. So that one, these are ones I designed. And of course, there's our reproductions. More of them. And of course, the dolls I designed back there with Faye, that's Alexis, and that one is Kawani. And these were prototypes I painted for the toy company I designed with. Just give me a look. You can check them out at VIA, put a minus sign and an E.com. And these are fabrics I'm going to make some Barbie gowns with, like dresses to fit the bodies. And of course, we have Barbie and Raquel. That's a Disney Esmeralda. She was collector. I got two. They ended up being on clearance or something. I rerouted that one with saran hair. Love the gypsy dress. Oh my god, I'd wear that. And then my custom American Girl to be like Ariana. The only thing is her eyes, the color isn't brown, but doesn't matter. Mama made me strawberry shortcake. And of course, we have my dolls right there. These are all hand painted American Girl dolls. And I do want to redo Elsa's lips again and make them darker like they were. So, yep. This is the studio. All right, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye.